All right, we are live on the Coach Eli Television Network, YouTube, Facebook, and D Live. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me tonight on this beautiful, amazing Friday evening. Thank God it's Friday, right? Yeah, it is Friday, August 20th, 2021. If you're here watching live, stick around. This is going to be one of the best shows I've probably done, at least content-wise. Content-wise. Entertainment-wise, well, if you're here for entertainment, that's not what I'm primarily about. I'm here to help people get a better grip on their life. But if you're also watching on the replay, hey, don't worry that you missed the live stream, because this replay is going to have tremendous evergreen content replay value. So please, watch the video all the way through if you're watching on the replay. And if you apply these principles and you listen to the examples I share here tonight regarding this topic, it will make the single biggest difference in your life. Because it's going to do one thing. It's going to do one thing. It's going to prevent you from wasting your time and your energy on the wrong things. That's all I'm going to give you for right now. Before we get to the rest, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it absolutely has. Let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that it is rolling smoothly. It absolutely is. Facebook on the back end is rolling well, and same with D Live. All right. I'm sure Queen Helen Casey will be popping in momentarily to mod the chat. Make sure the front end of Facebook is rolling well. We are at the top of the newsfeed on a Friday night. That's great. Make sure the front end of Facebook is rolling well. We are at the top of the newsfeed on a Friday night. Yes, we are. Now let's check out D Live. D Live. Let's check it out right now. Listen in. D Live. D Live. Let's check it out right now. Listen in. D Live has very, very, very low latency at high quality. That's just amazing. I couldn't get to it fast enough to hear the first part of me doing the D Live little bit there. I just love how that sounds. I keep saying that. All right. Looks like we're good to go. We are good to go. All right, folks, let's get right to it because, I want to keep this as short and sweet as possible. It is Friday night, and I do want to go and relax. I'm going to try to keep this show to about an hour and a half, 2 hours max, but hopefully it'll be closer to an hour and a half. Let me just read the topic here. The topic is how to let things go that are out of your control and waste time and energy. One more time. How to let things go that are out of your control and waste time and energy. How many of you out there, and I'm sure it's every single one of you, so if you can't own this, then no one, let alone myself, can help you through this, right? But how many of you out there have invested an incredible amount of time in something in your life that you really wanted to make work or accomplish, and you ended up not getting anywhere, and you practically wasted your time and your energy? How many of you have done that? I have. Many of us have. Interesting. The live streaming server just cut me off and immediately reconnected me. I have it set to reconnect right away. I'm really hoping that we don't have those issues here tonight. If we do, it is what it is. I thought I had the issue fixed. And I have it set as best as possible, but I can't control what happens on the internet between my connection and YouTube. So I found out it's not YouTube's live streaming server. It's not my connection. It is one of the hops in between my internet connection and YouTube's server, their connection. Here we go again. Here we go again. What's happening is it's automatically reconnecting me like right away. So I don't know how this is sounding. I'm gonna check this out. Let me watch YouTube real quick and see how this is going through. Let me see. Yeah. Here we go again. What's happening is it's automatically reconnecting me like right away. So I don't know how this is sounding. I'm gonna check this out. Let me watch YouTube real quick and see how this is going through. I mean, it is disconnecting me and reconnecting me right away at 0 seconds. So I don't know if there's even a little glitch on the screen when it does that. If it does that, that's fine. You probably won't even notice it, but I'm going to have to go back and check out the replay. And I'm hoping that it's not even the live streaming server. It's just, I'm hoping the internet fixes itself and it doesn't do that. But at least my notifications are popping up at the bottom right, so I know exactly when the disconnect happens. So, but yeah, so I'm just going to keep moving forward on this show, and if I need to re-upload my backup copy on this like I did on the stream the other day, I'll do that afterwards. Okay. So many of us out there have tried hard to accomplish things, right? Many of us are out there seeking true love and happiness, for example, right? And we find someone to spend time with, and everything seems to be going well. And, after a month or so, or 2 months or whatever, things just start to kind of change a little bit. And as a guy, when I've dated women in the past, I've noticed the change in the woman after a month or two. But in the past, I never would bring it up. And I kind of just let it go because I knew if I called her out on it, I knew she was probably going to walk away and leave. But was that the right thing to do? Sometimes people will stay in relationships longer than they should because they enjoy the company of the opposite sex. Maybe the woman is beautiful. Maybe, it's something the guy really enjoys being able to do during his spare time in the dating world nowadays. Now, I'm going to check this out 1 second here. It just disconnected. I want to see how it's coming up on the front end here. Give me a second. I want to watch this on YouTube for a second. It's something the guy really enjoys being able to do during his spare time in the dating world nowadays. Now, I'm going to check this out 1 second here. It just disconnected. I want to see how it's coming up on the front end. So there is a cut happening whenever the live streaming server disconnects me. There is a cut happening, but it's immediately reconnecting. So you see the cut, and it doesn't really cut out the majority because it connects like instantly right away. So I'm going to have to do some further research and just really figure out what's going on. But I'm just going to keep on moving forward, and it is what it is. So yeah, so a lot of times we stay in relationships a lot longer than we should, right? And until somebody clearly identifies this for us, or we figure it out on our own, what we don't realize is we're in a part of a codependent relationship, which is never going to work. If you as a man or a woman are in a relationship or a marriage, and you just feel something is off with your partner. And how can you tell if something is off? Well, if the usual normal things are not happening anymore, such as you're not going out on as many dates, the sex has slowed down, the attitude has slightly changed, one side is less available than the other side. Hey, Outback, how you doing, bro? It's all good and no dropping? Well, it is actually dropping, but it's reconnecting right away, so you probably can't notice it unless you pay very close attention. But hey, Outback, thank you so much for being here on the Facebook side of things. On the on a Friday, which is what I'm trying to say, bro. Glad to have you here, bro. We still need to get together sometime soon. But hopefully it'll just stabilize and not even do it. But it is what it is. And look who's here. Queen Helen Casey is in the house. Hey, Queen. How's it going, Queen? So the right thing to do in that situation is to talk with your partner. Because if you don't and you let it go and the relationship continues, it's only going to get worse down the road. It's only going to waste more of your time and your energy, and it's going to affect you emotionally and hurt you emotionally. And that's further going to drain your energy. Folks, when you go through a breakup, there's no worse feeling than that, right? There's no worse feeling than that. Or if someone passes away, that's probably the only other thing that could probably happen that's worse. But when something like that happens, your emotions are running sky high and it doesn't make you feel good. And when your emotions are running at that high of a level, it really, really sucks the life out of you and drains your energy. So why would you not be proactive and think ahead and prevent that from happening? So that way you don't have to waste any more time than necessary and drain any more of your precious energy than necessary. And when you get to my age at 47, even though I'm in pretty good shape and I still have a lot of energy for my age, I'm still 47. And technically, biologically, my energy is not the same as it was when I was younger. Plus, my body parts are starting to wear down and stuff. And even though I have a lot of energy now, still at 47, I still want to be as healthy as possible when I'm 50 or 55. And if I put myself in these situations that are going to cause me to like that, why would I do that to myself? Why would I do that to myself? If I can prevent it, I'm going to prevent it. And that's what I'm here to share with you folks today. Okay? Some other things I want to share that are out of your control. One example I want to use here that I've dealt with. When you come out on social media and you put out content on YouTube or other platforms, you're subject to the court of public opinion, right? And when you first do it, you're unaware of that. But you find out pretty quick that half the people out there are going to disagree with everything you say, whether you're right or wrong, just because that's how these people are, right? And the human natural reaction when you're coming across people like that is to give them a piece of their mind, to call them out on their crap, and to put them in their place, right? But when you're dealing with social media and the fact that people can create many accounts and fake accounts, even if you get these people shut down or try to silence them and you're successful in initially silencing them, they're going to come back and they're going to come at you harder, right? And then you may be thinking, okay, now these people are harassing me. Now I'm going to get the law involved, right? And if you're anything like me, I went through all that. And I initially tried to get the law involved. And you want to know what the law said? The law said, I brought them over to my place. They said, this is a YouTube beef. Just ignore them. They didn't even want to take a police report, right? But I invested all that time and energy until I figured that out. I invested a lot of time and energy and wasted a lot of time and energy trying to stop a group of people that were disagreeing with what I was saying. And they were purposefully antagonizing me just to make content out of me. And until I realized that, I couldn't let it go. Because, like I said, the natural reaction of a human being is to defend themselves, right? When someone's coming at you, you protect yourself, you defend yourself, right? But when it comes to social media, the more and more you defend yourself and try to get back at these people or try to shut them up per se, right? Or silence them per se, right? The worse it makes the situation. In essence, you're spinning your wheels. It's kind of like trying to drive in the mud with a two-wheel drive car, right? If you try to drive in the mud with a two-wheel drive car, what's going to happen? You hit the gas and you're going to be spinning your wheels and not moving, right? So in essence, why are you going to spin your wheels? Why are you gonna spin your wheels? Why even drive in the mud at all, right? And if you're gonna drive in the mud, at least have a four-wheel drive vehicle, right? What's the best thing to do? Let it go. It's not easy, especially when you're on YouTube and other social media platforms that are shared platforms where these people can gang attack you mob style, right? It's not easy, right? So what is the solution? You let it go. And you ignore these people. And no matter what they say or do, no matter how crazy it is, you keep on ignoring them. Because eventually at some point they're going to realize that no matter what they do, it doesn't faze you. And what's going to happen, instead of you spinning your wheels in the mud, trying to silence them and get them to stop doing what they're doing, they're going to be spinning their wheels in the mud because they've been trying to suck you back in and try to continue, coming at you. And nothing that they do is moving their needle forward. In essence, they are now the ones that are stuck in the mud and spinning their wheels. In essence, you flipped it on them because you let it go. Part of the issue, or one of the main issues people have nowadays, is not being able to let that shit go. Let it go. Queen, let me ask you a question. Have you been noticing there have been a couple of drops that have happened during this stream, and it immediately reconnects? Have you noticed those drops briefly, and it just reconnects right away? I'm just curious to know. So right now it appears that that we've been rolling smoothly for the last 6 minutes at least. So it's all good. It's all good. And as the show goes on, I'm going to share some more examples of how to let things go that are out of your control and waste time and energy, right? Let me check out Facebook real quick. How's your night going, Outback Andy? How are things going for you? How's the ice cream shop doing, bro? I need to come to your ice cream shop. I need to make a special trip and come get some ice cream, bro. Queen says, I haven't seen any drops. Critical Mass Blog says, hello, people. Hey, Critical Mass, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you here, bro. So here's what I'm going to do. I have one Reddit article or Reddit posting to go over tonight. And it has a total of 27 comments. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the browser screen here in a second and go through half those comments, take a break, and then go through the other half of those comments. And in between, as I read those comments, because I've already pre-read everything, I'm going to be sharing more of my personal experiences and giving more examples along with what these people are sharing in this posting. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser source. And this is from the subreddit Psychological Tricks. And the poster posts PT. What is PT? how do you stop trying to control things and let things go? One more time. How do you stop trying to control things and let things go? Let's get to the comments section. Something very simple, but has worked for me. Do you have a problem, issue, want, need, etc.? Well, we all have issues, problems, wants, needs, etc., but it's how we approach them, right? How we approach all those things, right? And if, we try to get those things dealing with certain people and they're not the right fit, we have to identify that right away as soon as possible and withdraw before we get sucked into their vortex of negativity and drama and selfishness in ways that are going to, waste our time and energy. Is there something you can do about this particular problem? Yes. When you become as intuitive and instinctual as I have become, and I can help anyone become very intuitive and instinctual, you'll be able to identify when things just don't seem right, and you'll be able to withdraw a lot quicker, like I said, once again, before you invest too much time and energy into something, right? And save that energy for the right people to work with or focus on, right? Yes, then do something about it. If there is something you can do about it, which is what this person's saying, then do something about it. If you don't do anything about it, and you can, then it can't be that important to you. True. So if there is something you could do about it, like let's go back to the example of the court of public opinion trolls, haters on YouTube and social media. If there's something you could do about it to stop it, then do it. But if there's nothing you can do about it, and no matter what you do, even getting the authorities involved, and the authorities say this is a YouTube beef, we don't take reports on this, right? If there's nothing you can do about it, then why continue trying to do something about something that's only going to keep you stuck in the mud, spinning your wheels, right? If it's a no, there's nothing you can do either way. So think about and put your efforts into things you can control and try to not let it bother you. Right. If something is out of your control, no matter what you do, and it's not moving you forward, why would you continue trying to invest time and energy into making it happen? You have to learn to identify where the best places and times, or who the best people are the best people to work with to invest your time into, right? And you have to keep your eyes and ears open and realize if it doesn't feel right, ask some questions. And if the person you're asking questions gets upset because you're asking a legitimate question, that's your cue to eject. Because anyone that's working with you, or if you're in a relationship and someone's with you, if they're with you for the right reason, right, they're going to be open to answer your questions in a calm, respectful, mature way. And if you ask a question to somebody that's legitimate because you feel something is off and they get upset at you, that's because they're realizing you're figuring out the game they're playing on you. It's a waste of time most of the time, if not all the time. So then you just withdraw and let it go. And then you ignore, because what happens when you withdraw from these types of people sometimes? They feel like getting revenge on you. If it's social media, they feel like getting revenge on you. If it's a girlfriend or boyfriend, sometimes they feel like getting revenge on you. Even though the mature thing would be to just walk away and let it go, most people aren't strong enough to do that. I want to teach you folks how to be strong enough to do that. I'll add to this by counting down from 5 when I know I need to get up. Hard limits work wonders. In essence, what you're saying is that you're setting boundaries. You have to set boundaries. When you're dealing with people, you set your boundaries. When you're getting to know a woman or a man to date, whether it's online dating or in person, right? You need to set boundaries as soon as possible. You need to discuss what's a deal breaker for you. You can't be afraid of losing that person because, oh, maybe they're the hottest person that you've ever met, right? Or they seem to be the nicest person you ever met. Because one of the nicest people you'll ever meet are going to accept you for who you are, and they're going to understand your boundaries, and they're going to have their own boundaries too that are probably similar. You want to connect with and deal with honest, ethical, and reasonable people. And the honest, ethical, and reasonable people are not going to put you through this. They're going to automatically know that, hey, some things just aren't right, so I'm not going to play games. I'm just going to be me. And if this person gives me the same respect in return, then, hey, we could have something great here. Whether it's for business purposes or personal purposes or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish with whoever you're trying to accomplish it with. Counting down also works for kids to get them to do anything by offering challenges. Time limit to get reward, encouragement. Edit, clarifying positive parenting usage. Well, yeah, you have to teach your kids morals, values, and ethics at a young age. And you also have to hold them accountable for piss poor negative behavior. Nowadays, parents let their kids get away with anything and everything. And the parents, aren't good role models themselves based on how they live their lives, so their kids see that, right? You need to, in order, to give your kids the best possible shot of having a healthy, honest, and ethical type of lifestyle and treating people right and people treating them right, you have to set the example. I get what you're saying here. Only if you raise them by using fear and intimidation. You don't have to use fear and intimidation. You just have to hold them accountable. If they make a mistake, you talk with them about it, right? And maybe say, hey, look, I'd give them a warning. If I had kids that were teenagers and they did something, I'd give them a warning first and say this. Okay, look, this is not the way I raised you to be. This is not the way to treat people. You wouldn't want to be treated this way. Son, daughter, right? So I don't want you to treat people like this because I don't want them treating you like this, and you don't want to be treated like this, right? So this time, I'm going to let you go. But the next time you behave in this way, I'm taking your phone away for a week. You got to take something away from them that means the most to them. And nowadays, it's this damn thing here, right? You think they're going to want to lose their phone for a week? No, they're going to try to find other ways to talk with people, but their own personal, iPhone or Android, the smartphone, that means more to these kids than anything, right? Now, if they break your rules again, if they misbehave again, right? And you're parenting them to try to teach them morals, values, and ethics to learn how to handle these things better, right? Take their phone away for a week. And then you say this, okay, I'm taking your phone away for a week. You get it back in 1 week, but the next time that you behave this way, I'm going to take your phone away for 2 weeks. If they do it again, the next time you say, I'm taking your phone away for a month. Right? And if after 3 or 4 times they haven't learned their lesson, after that third or fourth time, take their phone away for a month. If they haven't learned, at that point, you give them one more chance. Say, look, the next time you do this, you're not going to have a phone until you're an adult and can buy one yourself, right? I bet you that will set them straight, right? It's not about using fear and intimidation. It's about holding them accountable in a reasonable way, right? Ice cream is one of my favorite things I do for cheat meals when breaking my normal diet rules. Yeah, me too, but I eat the sugar-free one. I try to minimize my calories, and I don't have ice cream all the time, every so often. I stay off the sugar normally. So do I, bro. As much as possible. A little sugar every now and then is okay, but you have to minimize it. You have to watch it. All right. Let me check out Facebook real quick. Outback says, I'm at Memorial Hospital. My wife is having emergency surgery. Unsure how this will be. Oh my gosh. Outback, my thoughts and prayers are with you and your wife. I hope she's going to be okay, man. She's a good woman. You know, she's your other half. Please give her my best. Again, my thoughts and prayers to you, your wife, and your family, bro. Please keep me posted privately through Facebook Messenger. And I can understand if you can't be here, bro. You're there spending time and supporting your wife. All right. I thought about what you wrote, and now I can see where you might see it that way. You have until the count of 5 or you're getting a spanking. I never do that. No, fear and intimidation is not how this works, and certainly not the only way. Yeah, listen, fear and intimidation tactics, they don't work on kids, they don't work on anybody, right? You basically set boundaries. It's setting boundaries and holding them accountable to those boundaries. And the first time they make a mistake, you don't punish them for it. You give them a warning. Just like YouTube now gives you a warning when you violate their community guidelines, they give you a warning instead of a strike. They say, okay, you violated the guidelines. We're making you aware, but we're not going to put a penalty on your channel. But the next time you do this, you will get a strike for 90 days. 3 strikes in a 90-day period and your channel's terminated. And that community, I've never gotten one. I just know how it works. That community guideline warning stays at the top left of your homepage on the back end of YouTube Studio. It says community guideline warning. Again, I've never gotten one because I don't violate the guidelines, but they give you a warning. So the best thing to do is give one warning and then say, look, if you do this again, I'm taking your phone away for a week, right? Your kids are going to thank you for not taking their phone away, but then they're also going to understand that, hey, what they did was not right. Instead of putting your kids in the position of saying, give me another chance, give me a chance, don't take my phone away, I'll change, you're proactive on say, look, this is the first time this has happened. This is not the way I raised you to be, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to give you a warning this time. I'm not going to punish you, but if you do it again, I'm taking your phone for a week, right? You see, that's fair, right? You're being fair and you're being reasonable, right? And more than likely, that's going to correct the issue most of the time. If it doesn't, you keep moving forward with the punishment I mentioned a little bit ago. Okay? There are many more ways it can work. Examples. By offering rewards, we can go to the park, but we need to get our shoes on in 30 seconds. Challenges. Can you sip your water for 10 seconds, encouraging them? You can do this. Let's do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's fun stuff. Sure. Helping them focus on the task by hearing how long it is taking, etc. I hope when you use the tactic on yourself, you aren't using it as a threat either. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not about a threat. It's about holding people accountable, creating boundaries, and holding people accountable. Something people have reported to me as working is something called worry time. What you are describing sounds like worry. What if? Set a time during the day to plan out the what ifs and allow yourself to worry. Don't do it before bed and not first thing in the morning, but otherwise, schedule it like you would anything else. This allows you to pick how much time you allow to take up. It can also allow you to let go when your time is up for the day because you will get more time for it tomorrow. Sounds like accountability, right? Sounds like you're holding yourself accountable, which you should be holding yourself accountable. I hold myself accountable every day. You can also shrink the amount of time you designate for it as you go. Now, like I just said a second ago, it's about holding yourself accountable. But some people haven't figured that out yet. You have to be strong enough and understand what it takes to hold yourself accountable and how important it is. You have to come to terms with that on your own before you can do it. But this is the right way to do it. An hour per day becomes 45 minutes per day. But like the others have said, try to focus that time on things you can actually control rather than wasting on something there is no solution to. And there are people out here on YouTube, the internet, and in real life that know there's no solution to the problem they're bringing to you. They're just looking for attention and drama, right? Right? And they play that against you, knowing that no matter what they do, you can't hold them accountable in any way. The only thing you can do is ignore them. You have to ignore these types of people and move on, because there's no solution to, stopping them from being stupid, right? They're just being stupid, right? Only solution is to not let it get to you, ignore it, and eventually these people will be stuck in the mud spinning their wheels, like I mentioned earlier, instead of you stuck in the mud spinning your wheels trying to get them to stop something that there's no solution to. I really like this idea too. I think I might start doing this during my meditation sessions too, or set aside a time to actually journal about my worries. That's good. That's good. That's a great way to hold yourself accountable. I never thought about setting a time for it because I've always been told it is bad to worry. Try and avoid it. I've been working on accepting negative emotions and not feeling bad for it. I don't know why worry never fell into the same category. Well, it's not easy to accomplish what you just mentioned. I had the same issues when I was younger, and as I got older, I had to learn to just let shit go. I had to learn to just ignore certain things. And I figured it out by the time I was in my, early to mid 30s, right? But then guess what? I came out on social media to run my business, and I fell back into my old ways. Why? Because I had to learn how to deal with things online as well, with people all over the world that can create fake accounts and try to make your life miserable, right? The online world's a whole new world, right? But after several years of spinning my wheels in the mud, trying to stop these crazy people, right? I realized there's nothing you can do to stop them. They're just a thorn in your side. That's all, The only thing you can do is just ignore. Move on with your stuff, do your thing, and ignore these people, especially on YouTube. It's a shared platform. Even if you block these people, they can still watch your content. They can still make videos on your content. They can still do whatever they're doing. It's just up to you if you want to let it bother you or not anymore, right? And the less attention you bring to it and don't let it bother you, eventually, like I said, they're going to be the ones spinning their wheels in the mud instead of you spinning your wheels in the mud trying to stop these people that can't be stopped. There's no solution to it. It is what it is. Let it go. Move on. Like you said, people view worry as something to be avoided. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but doesn't get you anywhere. Right. However, worry is also what gets us up to go to work, stops us from falling behind, etc. I like to think about worry like a type or preparation, like when a sports team watches film of another team to prepare. It is helpful as it gives you ideas and insight, but after so long, there will be diminishing returns and it will only start to be a negative. When you worry about something for longer than I'd say maybe a day or so, hopefully less, it starts to consume you and it is a negative. And it's a waste of time and energy. If something all of a sudden pops in your head that's worrying you about your dating partner, male or female, your business partner, a family member, a friend, The moment you feel that, we all have smartphones nowadays. We all have these damn smartphones, right? Send them a text and say, hey, do you have a few minutes to talk by phone, either now or within the next day or so? I can talk with you as soon as possible. It's something that's been on my mind. It can't wait, right? You reach out to the person that, you're feeling worried about or worried about something regarding them or your relationship with them, right? You reach out and you talk as soon as possible. If you hold it in, number one, whatever it is that you're worried about, they're probably going to continue doing it. It's going to worry you even more, and it's going to waste more of your time and energy. And eventually it's going to get so bad when you finally talk about it, it might cause an emotional explosion, and that's just going to be more of a time suck and energy suck. And it's going to be very unhealthy. You always want to confront any issue that you have with anyone immediately. And if they're not willing to talk about it, then that's where you cut it off. Well, I'd say this. Until you're willing to talk about this and work through this, then I can't be your friend. I can no longer do business with you. I can no longer date you. You got to be that firm. And if they really value you, once you start to walk away, they're gonna chase you down and say, okay, let's talk. Sometimes it takes walking away to give people the hint. All right, let me read a few more here before I take my first break. Let me check out the well, Queen, that's your opinion. I actually like YouTube. I mean, life is not fair, but I actually like YouTube. All right. Radical acceptance. Accept what you can't control. True. I wouldn't go as far and say radical acceptance. And you don't even have to accept what you can't control. Just don't react to it. Let it go. There's a difference between accepting something and letting something go that you can't accept, right? So it's not about whether you accept it or not. Typically in these situations, you feel this way because you can't accept it. There's something wrong. If there's no solution to it, let it go. Say it is what it is and move on to dealing with other people that are going to be easier to work with. Again, accept what you can't control. Understand that regardless of your need to control things, things will happen whether you think you're controlling them or not. Control is often an illusion. Right. If you try to control a relationship, a friendship, family members, business partners, what happens? It never works out. No one wants to be controlled. You set boundaries initially up front. And if these people violate your boundaries, you go back and say, hey, when we first became friends, when we first started dating, when we first became business partners, these were my boundaries. And you made a promise to me that you're not going to violate these boundaries. Now you are. I want to talk about it. What happened, right? Well, they might say, okay, I changed my mind. I couldn't keep my word. Well, then this is where our friendship, business relationship, dating relationship, whatever it is, this is where it ends. And then you walk away, right? What happens when you walk away at times? People get the hint. They're like, you mean business. And unless they adhere to the boundaries you set, the reasonable boundaries you set initially when you first, connected with that particular person, if they value you, they're gonna say, okay, you're right. I'm sorry, I had a moment. Can we work things out? Okay, that's reasonable, right? Exploring where your need to control things stems from. No need to control anything. If you feel the need to control anything or anyone, then the issue is within yourself. You've got some serious, emotional issues deep within. You have a lot of you have a lack of self-respect and self-love. Someone like me that has self-love and self-respect doesn't feel the need to control anything or anyone. I just want to enjoy life with happy, positive, outgoing people. Control is often an illusion. I get what you're saying. Exploring where your need to control things stems from. Sure, it stems from unresolved past issues of not getting your way, right? With these millennials nowadays, it's because of the way they're raised. They come from broken or messed up households, right? And they learn bad habits. They're not being raised the same way as, kids were raised during my time, Generation X, and before that, the boomers, and even before that. Needing to be in control is a secondary symptom of something else. It's an unresolved emotional issue. You hit the nail on the head. You just didn't say it as clearly as I did. Usually fear. Yeah, well, it's fear of not being good enough. It's fear of not being accepted, right? And that all stems from not loving yourself and not having self-respect. And not just understanding that not everything, and not understanding that everything is not going to go your way. And you have to learn to let certain things go and focus on things that were more meant to be. Explore what you fear. Right, you got to take chances. Take it a step further. If X happens, then Y will happen. If X doesn't happen, Y will happen. Then what? So what? One foot after the other. Deal with every moment as it comes. Right. I agree. You have to see how other people you're trying to connect with, for whatever it is you're trying to connect with them about, you have to see how they respond. If you're trying to get to know a woman, you have to see what her level of interest is. If you're trying to make a business deal with someone, you look at their past history, you talk with other people about how it is to work with them, and then you have a conversation with them and see how it feels to have that conversation with them, right? And then if they change, then you deal with it at that point, right? But don't stay involved with people too long to the point of where it's going to waste your time and suck up all of your energy. Because if it just wasn't meant to be, nothing you say or do is going to change that person. That's out of your control. So why waste your time and energy trying to change something that's never going to change? Let it go and move on to other people that are going to be more open to what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. Let me read a couple of responses here, then I'll save the others for when I get back from break. This is huge for me. My control definitely comes from fear and the unknown. That's because you don't have self-respect or self-love, or at least you don't have a lot of it, or complete self-control. Or complete self-love or self-respect, I mean. I like the formula you put up. Might have to do some journaling tonight to plan out all the scenarios that can happen with what I'm trying to control now. Good for you. Came for this. This is DBT therapy. Well, I don't know what DBT is, but it's a form of therapy, and has taught me a lot. Look into Marsha M. Linehan. Has really great books and workbook for DBT. What is DBT? Let me see. Doing big things? I don't know. I don't know. These acronyms these kids use nowadays, wow, it's just crazy. All right, folks, we're at 49 minutes here. It looks like the streaming server has stabilized. I'm going to step away and take a quick break. And when I return, I'm going to go through the last half of the responses here. Let me just see how much we have left here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot left. Probably just take about half an hour to go through it when I get back. So let's cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. That's 2. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to take care of Queen on a Friday night. All right. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a little less than a 10-minute break. And when we return, we're going to finish the last half of the comments in the forum. Psychological tricks. And we're discussing how to let things go that are out of your control and waste your time and energy. Let's switch back to full screen before we go on the break. So, stick around. We'll be right back. then you have magic, right?
Then you have magic.
That's Queen Helen Casey's favorite song. Otis McDonald, Magic. Part 2. The YouTube audio library, Queen Helen Casey, my top mod on YouTube. Queen, you're so reliable and dependable. I don't expect that, but I appreciate it, Queen. Yeah. Yeah, I see you too, Beastmaster. I see you, bro. I see you, man. I'll get to you in just a second. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on the Coach Eli Television Network, primarily broadcasting live on YouTube at youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. That's youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. We're also simulcasting live on Facebook and D Live. If you're on Facebook and D Live and you want to get more than just these in-studio live stream simulcasts, if you want to get all of my pre-recorded content, if you want to get my mobile live streams that are exclusively only available to YouTube, and if you even want more content, I have a members only package. I have a monetized channel on YouTube. You can subscribe and become a member for as little as $4.99 per month or as high as $99.99 per month. All my membership packages get you the same thing. It's just how much you want to donate to sponsor the channel and the content to keep it moving forward. If you want all that and you're on Facebook and D Live, come over to YouTube. If you're on your YouTube app or your laptop or desktop, log into your Google account that you primarily use for YouTube. Subscribe, bang the bell. You can find me by searching for Coach Eli, Elias Melas. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with over 4K subs. Avoid all the clones, and then you'll get everything. You won't miss a beat. And I'm going to be doing some more mobile streams soon. I may even do one tomorrow or Sunday. I haven't done one in a while. I've been working on some other things. I've been working out at home. But the mobile streams are definitely coming back. Beastmaster with the 99-cent super sticker with the nice big wink eye smiley emoji or sticker, right? It's a sticker. Yeah, you're going to force me to start the donations tag. Let's go ahead and do that. Thank you, Beastmaster. Let's start that off at 99 cents. Let me just go ahead and launch it over on this page too. We'll be back to the Reddit posting to finish up those comments in just a few. Tonight, we have been discussing how to let things go that are out of your control and waste your time and energy. One more time. How to let things go that are out of your control and waste time and energy. If you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay. I shared my thoughts and some examples, where I had wasted my time. I'm going to share a few, another example here right now to start off the second part of the show. I've missed you, Coach Beastmaster. Well, hey, man, I mean, you're welcome to come around as often as you'd like, bro. That's up to you. You don't have to miss me. I'm almost here every day, if not every day, bro. It's just you're busy. Everyone's busy. And, if you find the time or make the time and you really, truly enjoy the content and you learn from it and it helps you out, that's great, bro. But, hey, thank you for being here. And thank you again for your 99-cent super sticker. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to update you folks on something I mentioned on my stream yesterday. Something that I'm also going to be cutting out as a pre-recorded video that's going to be about 15 minutes long, because I really, really want to reach as many people as possible, especially the men that I feel are being taken advantage of regarding this. I mentioned yesterday that there are some apps, dating apps like Hinge and Bumble that are swipe left, swipe right apps. Hinge, you heart the person and like them or X them to, skip them, right? And I was sharing how, when you first get on these apps, you get the most amount of matches and the most amount of responses. And after experiencing this myself and some further research online from other people that have used these apps, primarily men, it is true. These apps for the first week will basically give you a super boost for free on your profile, whether you pay for their premium service or not. And they primarily do it for people that don't pay for their premium service. But even if you buy the premium service on Bumble or Hinge right away, you automatically get that boost for the first week or maybe even up to 2 weeks, right? Then all of a sudden, whether you have a premium package or not on either of these platforms, the amount of responses you get are far fewer. And what I've read is that their algorithm is set to basically do this, to try to get you to pay for the premium package. And basically, once you pay for the premium package, they lead you to believe that with the premium package, you're going to have the same amount of people reaching out to you and contacting you. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't happen. And it will never happen again after that point. But these apps also offer a boost feature, right? Both, Bumble and Hinge offer a boost feature. So what did I do yesterday? I purchased a boost package. You can purchase a boost package for as little as an hour of time, or you can purchase a boost for 24 hours continuously for $19.99. I said, okay, I've got $20 to burn. I want to test this out and see if I get the same type of activity I got when I first came on the app by purchasing a boost for $20 for 24 hours. And I mentioned that I would update you folks on this as soon as I found out what happened. Well, that $19.99 boost, I thought got me a couple of connections, but those connections were not as part of the boost. When my boost ended earlier today, it made me aware that I had no new matches based off my boost. I'm not surprised. And what that leads me to believe, and I say this wholeheartedly, is that the boost feature does not work. The boost feature is, in my opinion, it's a scam. And it's there to just make more money, leading you to believe that if you purchase more and more boosts, that you're going to get more and more traction. No. The only time on these apps you get the most traction is the first, maybe even up to the second week. And after that, it's never the same. Unless you're some extremely gorgeous, overly attractive guy, which most of us guys are just average, everyday guys, it's not going to do you any good, right? So, do I feel that these platforms are doing something illegal? Borderline. I don't think it's illegal, but I will tell you, this is my opinion. I will tell you, I feel it is extremely unethical what they're doing. They're taking advantage of men that just want to find a good woman. They know how hard it is to find a good woman. These apps know that women have unlimited options, right? So they don't focus on the women. They focus on trying to keep the men on the platform as long as possible. And Hinge says, we want you to find someone, find true love so you can delete our app, right? They say that to lead you to believe that they really do care about you finding someone. But the truth of the matter is they care about keeping you on the platform as long as possible. They want you to trust them to the point of where you continuously renew that monthly membership or whatever you have, thinking that eventually you're going to get that one connection. Now, it's not impossible to actually connect with somebody on Hinge, for example, after that 1 or 2 week initial super boost period they give you free of charge, where you get a ton of people that are connecting with you and messaging you. But it is a lot harder and it takes a lot longer time. And what I assume they do is that they basically put your profile towards the bottom on purpose. So that way you don't get a lot of responses for a while, and then you keep renewing, thinking that eventually you're going to strike gold and find the right one. Now, why do I mention this? Because most guys that, let's say, did the same thing I did, pay $19.99 for a 24-hour boost. Most guys that got nothing out of it, that figured out the same thing I just did, would be upset and demand a refund, right? Now, could I demand a refund and probably get a refund? Yes. Am I going to demand a refund and go after a refund? No. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm just going to let it go. I did it more as an experiment to try and see, what these apps are really doing. Do they really care as much as they say they care, or are they all about how much money they can make? And it's all about the money, right? And they're preying on men's vulnerabilities of really wanting to find true love. And if they purchase the extra boost or the premium membership, it's going to benefit them more. No, it does not. The premium memberships on these packages on Tinder. So, I'm not even talking about Tinder. I'm sure Tinder's the same way. But I've had experience with Bumble and Hinge. The premium packages on these platforms do not make a difference. Now, do they initially let you swipe right on a lot more women than the 25 max per day? I believe both allow you to swipe for free. Yes, but if you swipe on 25 per day for the first couple of weeks, you're going to have 500-600 people you can swipe right on, and you're going to get the same, ton of matches with the initial super boost you get on these sites, right? It's not going to make any difference. So, in my opinion, I don't feel it's worth paying for these apps. I don't feel it's worth using the boost. It's all a game. And the more and more guys figure this out, and the more and more people like me talk about this, more and more people will realize that these apps are going to have to change their algorithm to be more fair and not try to take advantage of men, leading them to believe if they pay for the premium package or the boost that they're actually going to get more connections. No, I mean, I'm flabbergasted by this whole thing. But again, I'm just going to let it go. Why? Because it's out of my control, and it would be a waste of my time and energy to apply for this refund. And even if I get this refund, what's going to happen? They'll probably blacklist my account, right? And I still want to keep my account open. Like when my premium Hinge membership expires in a couple of weeks or in a week and a half or so, I'm still going to keep it on my phone, because you never know, out of all the people you've swiped right on or have open conversations with, you never know when someone legitimate may reach out to you. You want to leave that option open. But besides that, I would not recommend to pay for Hinge. I would not recommend to pay for Bumble, especially if you're a man. And if you're a woman, you don't really need to pay anyway, because you're getting enough matches for free as it is. Again, I think these sites are going to eventually have to change things up. I think they already know it, because the more and more guys figure this out and talk about it, the less they're going to use the premium service or the boost, and they're going to lose revenue, so they're going to have to make it more fair. Sites like Match.com don't do this, because they're not really a swipe left, swipe right type of site, even though Match has added that onto part of Match.com. But Match.com is more about reading a full profile and sending messages. And you don't even have to connect with somebody and like somebody to send a message. You can send a message on Match to anyone, whether they've liked you or not. It's all a game to make money. So I'm going to make a pre-recorded video on this, and I'm going to basically mash up what I put out yesterday and add today's, and I'll have that out hopefully within a few days to reach as many people as possible. But again, I'm just going to let it go. This is an example of me not being happy about this. Is it BS? Yes. Is it illegal? Probably not. Maybe borderline illegal, but not really. If it was illegal, they would be out of business. But do I feel it is unethical? I think it's extremely unethical. And I think that a lot of things that men deal with nowadays are like this. The way the world is nowadays is about exploiting a man's money and using the modern day empowered woman that's in control of the dating market to do it. Women are already in control of the dating market as it is. Now we've got these apps that are making it even more difficult for guys to find true love and happiness. And by the way they set their algorithms, and then by extracting our money and giving us no value for it. The value, whether you pay for these sites or not, is going to be there the first week or two. After that, it'll never be the same. But anyway, that is that. Let me read the chat here real quick. So you wasted your money for nothing. Yeah, pretty much. Well, I got to heart and like a ton of profiles in the first 2 weeks, Queen. That may have given me a little bit that may have given me more responses because during the first week or two, they give you that huge boost. But I really don't think it would have made a really huge difference. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I just got a match on Hinge. First one in quite some time. You're going to get 1 or 2 matches per day if you continue swiping right. But it's not going to be the same where you were getting like 20 or 30 a day during the first week or two. Beastmaster says, you're right. It takes much more energy to carry anger or worry around. Good subject. We'll share with my girlfriend's aunt. So much time on non-relevant things. She can't change. She drains me. Well, that's why you have to withdraw from that, bro. You go to her and you say, look, you know what? This is out of your control and my control. And if we continue talking about this, we're wasting time and energy. It's an emotional time suck, bro. And it's more difficult for women to work through these things because they are emotional beings and they respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. But, Beastmaster, the best thing to do is this. Let her know that, hey, you know what? I love you, but I can't be a part of this conversation anymore. It's just draining me. I love you. I'll support you. But until you work through this or get over it, it's just taking too much out of me, right? Good for you, Beastmaster. I don't want no part of the dating apps. Okay, Queen, I get it. I totally get it. Looks like the streaming server has stabilized, which is good. That's awesome. All right, let's go back to the browser source and finish up reading this Reddit posting from the subreddit Psychological Tricks. And I'm just going to go back to the top for a second and read the title. How do you stop trying to control things and let things go? We went through the first half of the comments, the 27 comments during the first part of the show. So go back and check out the replay if you'd like. And let's go through the last few here. I will admit this has helped a ton, but I still find myself wanting to control things I have no control over. Well, that's a personal issue deep within. That's because you more than likely have unresolved issues, or you have too much time on your hands, or you don't have any other options. When you're focused on trying to control one particular aspect, it means that you need that person or group of people that you're trying to control to give you something to do, right? So, you know what? Figure out some other things you enjoy doing for fun during your spare time. Maybe consider starting your own business. If you work for somebody else and you need something to do during your spare time away from work, there are so many other things you can do where you can invest your time and energy and even your money in a more positive and effective way. But this is how you see yourself, You probably don't love yourself, and you probably don't have a lot of self-respect. Until you're able to have a lot of self-love or complete self-love and complete self-respect, you're going to keep on trying to control things that are out of your control. And why are you doing it? Because maybe, maybe these people have talked smack about you and you feel like, standing up for yourself. I mean, come on now, that's ridiculous. It is because this particular subject is very important to me and I can't let it go, because if I do, then that admits defeat and that it is over. That's a problem. That's an insecurity right there. Here's the thing. I used to have that problem in my younger days. I couldn't admit defeat. When my friends were right about things, I couldn't admit that they were right and I was wrong. I knew I was wrong. They knew I was wrong. But I when they would say I was wrong and they didn't like what I was doing, I would say, no, dude, you're just, you're just jealous or whatever, right? And I look back at the way I was behaving back in those days, and then I'm like, who the hell was this guy back then, right? Right? Here's the thing. One of the most mature things you can do as a man or a woman, but let's just speak about men right now, okay? Because women are emotional beings, and there's a little more flexibility when it comes to women's behavior than men because of the fact that women are emotional beings, right? But when it comes to men, one of the most honorable things and masculine things you can do is admit defeat, accept it, and say, good game. Dude, you beat me. You beat me fair and square. Yeah, I don't like to lose. No one likes to lose. But you know what? I'll accept defeat. And that right there not only is going to make you feel better deep within, but the other person is going to have mad respect for you. What you have to understand, this is more about respect than winning. That's another great topic I should do. Winning versus respect or something like that. Can you accept defeat if it earns you respect? Absolutely. You're probably younger and you haven't had enough experience to work through this and see it in the ways I just mentioned it. You'll get there. You'll get there. It is great that you realize this about your problem. Also, the answer is still mediation. Our ability to understand or accept this is just a matter of degrees, meaning something along the lines of a master of meditation would probably handle this without much struggle, and a beginner would probably meet a lot of resistance within themselves. That's because the more experience you gain and the more you realize that what you're doing is spinning your wheels and not getting you anywhere, you're going to start to say, okay, maybe it's me and who I'm associating with, and I need to learn how to walk away from things that aren't working for me much quicker so I can focus that time and energy into things that are going to work for me. Consider it this way. The beginning mediator feels defeated when they are supposed to focus on the breath, and moments later find themselves distracted. You feel defeated when you are supposed to let this thing go, but moments later you find yourself trying to control it. That's an insecurity. That's because you feel the need to get back at the person that beat you. If someone beats you, whether it's fair and square or even if they cheated, let it go. Most people don't have a problem being defeated in a reasonable way, but they have a problem when people cheat to defeat them, right? If you know somebody beats you due to cheating, right, unless it affects you monetarily or in some other way, ignore them and let them go. Why would you want to, try to work things out with a person like that, or even try to one up them? They're not a good person that you should associate yourself with, right? Why do you feel the need to get back at someone that doesn't care about you in any way, shape, or form? And if you try to get back at them, it's only going to get them to come at you in their shady ways harder, right? So you got to let it go. But in order to let it go, you got to become stronger. You got to love yourself. You got to have self-respect, and you have to have the emotional strength too. It's not easy. You work up to it. I had to work up to being this way, and it's made a huge difference in my life. The truth in both cases is that there is no defeat, because the awareness of that distraction attempt to control is itself the point. Good point. That realization about awareness was actually the goal. So the beginner and you have both succeeded. Okay, well said. I don't have anything to add to it. Understanding that distraction is just as unavoidable a part of consciousness at that moment as focus allows the beginner to then avoid distraction. It comes through practice doing that again and again and again. Right, repetition is the mother of skill. Like my most favorite coach on YouTube is Coach Corey Wayne. He says this: repetition is the mother of skill. You're not going to pick up on this and apply it perfectly or instinctually right away. But the more and more, you talk with people about this, you talk about it in forums, you talk about it with people in person, maybe you reach out and get the services of a coach like me. The more and more you talk about it and the more you try to apply it, eventually it'll become natural. And you won't allow anyone to allow you to waste time on them and energy on them. You'll pick up on it right away and you'll immediately shut them out and move on to other people that are going to be a more productive use of your time and your energy and maybe even your money. And understanding that trying to control is just as unavoidable a part of consciousness at that moment as letting go, you can then avoid, you're writing this wrong, man. You can then avoid trying to control. It comes through practice, doing it again and again and again. I think you just read the same thing. And you wrote it kind of a little bit differently, but you wrote the same thing, almost the same thing as you wrote in the previous paragraph. I get it, dude. Repetition's the mother of skill. Good point there. That's awesome. That truth exists right now, but the amount of practice it takes to see it, to really feel it, that can take some time. I agree. Repetition's the mother of skill. That's all I got to say. You want to become better at something and master it, keep doing it. You're going to make a ton of mistakes at first, but eventually you'll learn from them, and then it will never, ever faze you, bother you, or waste your time and energy again. Nothing wrong with admitting defeat, whatever that means to you. I just said that a few minutes ago. I agree. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that, bro. I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. You're right. Okay. Just treat it as a learning experience and move on. I've been saying that all along. It's a learning experience, but learn from it. And you may make the same mistake a few more times after you learn from it the first time, but eventually you won't let those mistakes happen after they happen a few times. But it's not going to change right away. It takes time. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Okay, nobody on Facebook. I hope Andy's wife is doing well in the hospital. Nobody over on D Live on YouTube. Beastmaster says, I'm with you, my queen, but I can see why guys use it. Less stressful looking and reading about someone to be interested in. My friend has trouble telling a lady he's not interested in her. Me, face to face. Well, whether it's face to face or in person, you either feel it for each other or you don't. And, if a guy is talking to the woman on a dating app and it's not working out, do the same thing she does to you. Just ghost her and move on. That's what people do nowadays. You ghost, you move on. You have many other options. Don't get stuck on the outcome of one woman that's not interested in you completely. Beastmaster furthermore says he's a very good-looking dude. So my girlfriend and other girls too say about him he's just had a rough home life that makes him shy. Insecurity, not sure if they're cat. I don't know what you meant there, but if he's a good-looking guy that's insecure, that those insecurities, look, his looks will get him in the door with women, but it's not going to keep him around. Like, I'm sure he can sleep with all these women right away if he wanted to with his good looks. But even if he wanted to sleep with these women right away, which it doesn't sound like it's happening, he doesn't have the confidence to even get that. So he had a rough home life. He probably didn't have nurturing love from his parents. They were probably abusive. And so what's happening is he's going out there and he's he's attracted to women that replicate the behavior of what he saw through his mother. It was probably his mother that didn't give him enough nurturing love. Yeah, that's just getting dealt a bad card in life right there. I hope he figures it out at some point. If you work with someone like me, I can help him. But that's what these guys need. These guys need these types of shows and working with a coach like me to help change their mindset and uplift them, right? This guy needs to be uplifted. He doesn't know deep within he's a good-looking guy. He may be a good-looking guy, but he doesn't know it. But even if he figured it out, he needs to know he's good looking, but also not let it get to his head. He needs to be humble about it, and that's what's going to get the women. But anyway, he's probably young like you, Beastmaster, and he'll hopefully eventually figure it out. All right. Let's see here. I try to control things, but little things. Things I can't control with little to no harm, and I focus on those things. Good. That's what you should do. Example, my dish soap. I like my soap on the left, so I make sure it's on the left. That sounds to me like you have OCD. That's obsessive compulsive disorder. I kind of have a little bit of that too, but it's not too crazy. But that's okay. I get it. It is small, but it is something I can control. Sure you can. It's your place. You can put your soap wherever you feel like putting it. So I focus on going it how I want it, or going at it is what you mean. You folks can't even write anymore. God, these young people can't write. Their grammar is horrible. You go at it how you want it, when you want to, which soap, how much I use the container. Okay, that's I get that. That's an okay example. Say the serenity prayer over and over again until it becomes embedded in your spirit. Okay, well, all right. You can always say a prayer. That's not gonna change or teach you how to better yourself. But I get it. Praying is not a bad thing. You can meditate, pray, etc. That is one of my favorite prayers. I'm not religious. For a time, I was involved with the church, and when reading the Bible, this quote jumped out at me. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns. And yet your heavenly Father feeds them, and you not much more valuable than they. Okay? If I have the power to influence the situation, I do. If I can't, then I do what I can and trust that whoever is feeding the little creatures is looking out for me. Yeah, there's only so much you can do in certain situations. And you can kind of tell when you've exhausted everything you can do to try to change the situation. Again, like I mentioned in the past, if you continuously do the same thing over and over again, you're not getting the result that you want to get, and you're expecting a different result. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. You don't want to go insane. Trust me on that. Beep boop, I'm a robot. Here's a copy of the Bible. Oh, that's great. Thanks for sharing, dude. Thank you. I care what people say for voting on Reddit book bot. All right, whatever. Let things happen on their own. Keep them flowing in time. I believe in this big world, our role as an individual is next to zero. That's not true. That's a shitty attitude to have. Everybody has an equal role in this world. And as long as you're just yourself, right? And you show up in a positive and happy way, you have self-respect and self-love. You're going to give yourself the best possible shot to make the most of this world while you're still living in this world, right? That's it right there. Your role as an individual is next to zero. I get what you mean by that, dude, but that's still not a good way to look at it. Not going to lie, that last part is terrifying to me, but I also can see the truth in it. I'm very much trying to be the go with the flow type of person, but that's not really me. Well, then you're trying to control an outcome. And when you try to control outcomes, they never work out. You just got to be you, put yourself out there, And whoever is interested in what you're trying to get, whether it's a relationship, a business proposition, or whatever, those people will eventually find themselves into your, those people will usually find themselves towards you, will gravitate towards you, is what I'm trying to say, naturally. But you got to be yourself, because what you put out, you get back. I know it's scary as hell. It is very hard to let things go. Sometimes it takes every ounce of you to let that happen. And I've been there too, even at 47 with all the experience I have. Sometimes it takes a lot of me, but you gotta be strong, because if you start going back the other way, all the progress you made goes down the toilet. It really is, especially with the situation I am currently in. All right, folks, got a couple more here. We're going to go off the air in just a few minutes. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. I'll take a look at the chat right now and one more time before I go off the air. Okay, we're good. All right. From the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So how do you live in such a world without experiencing losing control, anxiety? Well, you get a grip on your life. You start to realize that the juice is not worth the squeeze, on some things that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's dating, whether it's business or whatever, right? You give up demanding certainty. But how do you do that? Nothing is certain. You got to understand that nothing is certain in life. You can certainly accomplish a lot if you take chances and take the right chances. And how do you figure out what the right chances are? You initially make a lot of mistakes, then you learn from those mistakes, and then you can identify many of those mistakes before they happen in the future, such as associating with the right or wrong people. You learn what to look for in people regarding what it is you're trying to accomplish. And then you also learn to figure out when people are playing games or not, because some people will play games just to try to suck you into whatever they want to suck you into, whether it's for money or for entertainment or whatever, right? But how do you do that? The answer to this lies in the cultivation of courage. Attaining serenity is possible only if you face the uncertainty of the future with courage. Well, everything's uncertain. Nothing is certain. And if you want to get ahead, you've got to tackle this uncertain world head on. But if you learn what to look for and what to stay away from, you're going to have far less of your time and energy wasted on things that are completely out of your control and are not going to help you move your own needle forward. This means refusing to cave to the fear of uncertainty. Absolutely. You got to be fearless. You got to understand not everything's going to work out, but eventually something will if you keep going. This means forcing yourself to walk away from your rumination and worry and to do something constructive with your life. Amen. I agree with that. It means having the courage to accept yourself as inherently flawed. I don't look at myself as inherently flawed, but I get that. It's a spiritual thing. What you're saying, in other words, a better way to put it is nobody's perfect, including myself. I'm not perfect, but I do the best I can with what I got. As part of a universe that offers no guarantees and as a being that lives imperfectly in this imperfect universe. Only focus on what you can control. If you can control it, do something about it. One more time. Only focus on what you can control. If you can't control it, do something about it. And if not, move away from it. All right. That's that. I'm going to move back over to full screen and start wrapping this up. We're about to go off the air. Nothing new on Facebook or D Live, and YouTube is clear. All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. We are at 1 hour and 41 minutes. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. And thank you to also the people that are watching this on the replay. Feel free to comment in the comments section, and I'll get back to you ASAP. I want to thank Queen Helen Casey for being here. I want to thank Critical Mass Vlog for being here earlier. I also want to thank Beastmaster for being here. And thank you once again, Beastmaster, for your 99-cent super sticker. Man, I greatly appreciate it. Every single penny counts. With that being said, have yourselves a great one. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.